Will be presented first by Father John Walsh from St. Joseph's Catholic Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by firefighter Blair Maxwell, who has been with the Cobb County Fire Department since March of 2015 and is assigned to Station 26B shift. What does that mean? I understand you're a Monsignor.
That's right, that's all right. Still father as well too, yes.
Monsignor, thank you for being here. For those that wish to do so, please rise for the invocation of the pledge.
God our Father, we give you thanks for this day, this place, and for Cobb County that we call our home. Bless these commissioners as they come together to address the questions and challenges of our time. Enlighten their minds, open their hearts, guide their decisions. May everything that we do be for your honor and your glory. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Monsignor. Firefighter Maxwell will now call this meeting officially to order. Our first tab is presentations. There are four presentations this morning. The first is to present third quarter Customer Service Excellence Awards. Ms. Deborah, Commissioners, if you come down with Mr. Hankerson, please.
Good morning. Certainly I'm honored to have the commissioners join me in presenting the third quarterly winners as the Customer Service Specialists of the Quarter. It is a program that we began with the task force in 1991, and it has grown over the years because we in government know that we're about service, and that's what it's about. The quarterly winners is selected by a council or committee after being nominated for this award. It is run strictly by the Customer Service Council. The quarterly winners are really recognized in their workplace, in the presence of their peers, and I, along with several council members, go down and announce their winner, and we get varying responses. Most of them are very memorable. They also get a gift certificate. They also get to be displayed on our website for one full quarter, telling the world why we're so proud of these quarterly winners. They also become eligible for a Customer Specialist of the Year. And also a photo is displayed in our service centers of quarter winners. And they get a proud pin that they can wear recognized, and they are quarter winners. So with that, we're going to turn it over to Christian and Deborah and others, and let's announce our winners.
Thank you, Mr. Hankerson. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, and special guests. On behalf of the Customer Service Council, it is a great honor to present the third quarter winners of the Cobb County Customer Service Excellence Award and the 2015 Crew Award. Today we will recognize 3 employees and 1 crew. Each of these employees was nominated by their coworkers and supervisors for consistently going above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to providing customer service excellence. This morning, we're pleased to give them formal recognition. Our first honoree this morning is Larry Jarman. Larry works for Information Services as a business analyst. He is being recognized today for his can-do attitude during recent projects with the Sheriff's Office and the county's police department. In each instance, he took on tasks that did not fall under his realm of responsibility and found locations for training. He took time out to clean the training rooms and set them up. He also discovered a design flaw in body cams the police department had purchased. When bringing the issue to the vendor corrected the problem and replaced all 40 cameras free of charge. Keep up the great work, Larry. You are making an enormous impact on our county. Our next winner, Payling Sue, is a library service supervisor in the Technical Operations Department. She is receiving the award today for taking on additional duties to help the Library Foundation's semi-annual book sale and to make the tech ops area of the library run smoothly. Whether she is cross-training part-time employees, jumping in to assist with shipping and receiving, staying in contact with employees who are out sick, or quickly expediting new library materials. Payleen continually puts library patrons and employees first in all that she does. Payleen, you are an example of what it means to provide customer service excellence. We are proud to call you a Cobb County employee. Ellis Swanson is our next honoree. Ellis is the water system's landscaper. After construction and repairs have been made to our water customers' properties, Ellis puts the landscaping back to its original state. One example of his efforts to go above and beyond occurred when a certain type of sod requested by a customer was unavailable. Instead of just placing the available sod and closing the service order, Ellis went out of his way to get the customer the specific grass he requested. When the job was complete, the customer sent a note stating, "Ellis Swanson was in charge of my landscape. He recently completed the exchange of sod, and I would like you to know that he accomplished it with a highly competent and professional manner." Thank you for your outstanding efforts and focus on customer service, Ellis. You are an asset to the water system and to the Cobb County. Our final recognition this morning is our 2015 Crew Award winners. This year's winner is the administrative staff at Police Precinct 3. Leslie Clark and Janet Beatty. These dynamic duo continually goes above and beyond to learn new ways to better help each other and serve precinct visitors. They take classes on their own time to help develop their skills and knowledge of the police department, provide more information than requested to the district attorneys and solicitors' offices, and follow up with victims or other individuals needing assistance from the precinct. When one needs assistance with a task, the other steps up to the plate and jumps in to help. According to Captain Van Hooser, Precinct 3 is blessed with the best team of administrative specialists in the department. In fact, as Captain Van Hooser was submitting their nomination packet, a citizen and her young daughter arrived at the precinct to make a report. Leslie took to the report, and Janet spoke to the young girl about how to call 911 and whether or not she knew her address and phone number. Thank you for being superstars for Precinct 3 and for Cobb County. We're proud of your efforts and commitment to making Cobb County great. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the third quarter Customer Service Award and 2015 Crew Award winners.
Let me say on behalf of the Board of Commissioners and other elected officials and department heads and supervisors, thank you for what you do and provide an excellent quality customer service to our citizens and taxpayers. Very proud of what you do, and obviously you impressed someone, whomever nominated you, and we'll keep that a secret because you didn't do it to be nominated, and again, thank you for it. Also, we know that the Cobb family and how much the Cobb family appreciate, but you also have other family members that are here and support you. If you have any in attendance, please stand and be recognized, the ones that are here to support our awardees. Thank you, thank you. I think a few of them refused to stand up, but we know they're there. I know who they are. Again, thank you for what you do, and very, very proud of you. Thank you.
Congratulations again. That takes us to tab, or the first tab, second item rather, in this presented proclamation of the Cobb County Enterprise GIS.
Sharon, you want to bring your folks up? And while Sharon Stanley's bringing the GIS folks up, just so everybody knows, it's really long what GIS stands for, but it's the one that provides all the mapping and search tools when you go to the county webpage. These guys are all the techno geeks. And all the folks coming up here from the different departments, I'm going to let Sharon talk about that in a sec. So GIS is a tool that provides real-time information for the residents, business owners, elected officials, county management, and staff. The geographic data is overlaid and analyzed to identify patterns and relationships of real-world conditions. Traffic is one that I know everyone's interested in. Use of these tools can lead to better decisions and more efficient and effective delivery of services. The need to promote awareness of GIS's importance in both office and mobile environments is huge because there's so much information for everyone. On November 18th, more than 80 countries, is that countries? Countries will participate, thought maybe it was counties, but participate in events to demonstrate real-world applications that are making a difference in our society. So today, we, the Cobb County Board of Commissioners, do hereby declare November 18th as GIS Day in Cobb County and encourage everyone to learn about the contributions this valuable technology brings to county staff, residents, and business owners. And I'm going to let Sharon Stanley introduce her, tell us what it.
Good morning. What we have up here is our GIS team. I'm Jennifer Lana, our GIS manager. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about what this day and what we're going to do on that day for Cobb County so that you can get an introduction to GIS. But we have the primary section, which is in the Information Services Department, where we do the enterprise level GIS. And then we have representatives in each of the departments who have a major role that they play in using GIS in the various agencies that we have. So I'm going to let Jenna tell you a little bit about what we're going to do on GIS Day that you can have an opportunity to come and participate in.
Hi. On November 18th, right here in this room from 9 to 3, we're going to do a public event. We're going to teach people about maps. We're going to showcase our web and mobile maps that we have available. We're going to have most of these departmental staff available here to answer questions for anyone that comes. We're going to also have map gallery and showcase. So please join us on that day. Again, it's open house, open to anybody that wants to come. And we can't wait to share with you all the great things that we do in Cobb County to help not only our staff, but everyone that lives and visits here as well. So Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Hankerson, thank you so much for all of your support and all that you do to keep our program one of the greatest ones in Georgia.
Squeeze in.
Come on, map yourselves on in here. Change the grid. Congratulations.
Item 3 is to recognize employee of the Community Development Agency and IS Department for Innovation Award.
Dana, you want to bring your folks up?
And if the rest of my team is on up also.
This is kind of a technology day here today.
My internet won't work.
Internet's a little slow here.
All right, so you see a large team coming up here, and this is actually two sets of folks, information technology folks and community development, specifically the business license division. So earlier this year, the Community Development and Information Services Department partnered to roll out automation that significantly enhanced the business license renewal process. Any of you that own a business are going to know what I'm talking about. These two departments work together to modify the process, incorporating technology to increase efficiency and to improve service for businesses renewing their license. The enhancements improve the cash flow for the county by quickly processing fees and deposits to the bank. Also, renewal documentation is scanned, automatically indexed in OnBase, which is a computer software, for easier retrieval when addressing customer calls and requests. As a result, the Cobb County Business License Renewal Enhancement Project was named the winner of the Acela Innovation Award for 2015 at the annual user conference this past September. Acela serves over 2,000 government agencies worldwide with community development using their technology to manage and regulate permitting and licensing. The team has significantly improved the experience for Cobb businesses, and in the upcoming year will continue to make enhancements to the process which will be streamlined it even further. So I have the award here. And basically what it says is that Acela 2015 Innovation Award, Business License Renewal Automation, Cobb County, Georgia.
And I'm going to pass this one on to Dana and let him talk about. We as IS are the enablers of functions in the county with the other agencies, and that's kind of where we were working with community development here, is to allow them to do what they do every day better and quicker for the citizens of Cobb. So I'm going to let Dana actually talk about the application.
Well, the application has really helped us quite a bit in improving our customer service, and you heard the county manager talk earlier about customer service and how important that is. And this has really enabled us through the efforts of Information Services and the great staff and business license who took the time to make this work. They're the ones that are in the trenches every day working on it, and they did an absolutely fantastic job of taking this tool and learning how to implement it so that we're improving our processes and helping our customers out along the way. So thank you all very much on both sides, the information technology side and the business license side, to make this work. It's a great help to all of us.
Sure, and I think thanks to the Board of Commissioners too, because when the request came forward to purchase this piece of equipment, it was a little bit larger than some of the other things that the board normally looks at. But I think everyone would agree that it's probably paying back tenfold.
I'm not sure what the fact is.
That's true.
We're not always the shortest. Thank you.
The next agenda item is to accept on behalf of the Cobb County Water System the 2015 Water Sense Award. Commissioner?
I would like to have Ms. Rosemary Hall of the EPA, and from Cobb County, Ms. Wen, Ms. Amy R. Warnock, Ms. Gwen Baldwin, come join me up front. Thank you. You can line up. Nice to meet you. This year, Cobb County's water system had the honor of being recognized as a 2015 WaterSense Partner of the Year with the EPA. And this is for its efforts in helping to rebate, communicate, and educate consumers about WaterSense products, homes, and products. We're very glad for our water system employees to have earned this honor, and we just wanted to take some time to recognize you for those efforts. Ms. Hall?
Yes. Thank you. I am EPA Region 4's WaterSense Coordinator, and just to briefly tell you a little bit about the program. In the past year, the WaterSense program, through products, programs, outreach, saved 346 billion gallons of water, and that brought us to a very important milestone of 1.1 trillion gallons of water saved through the program since its inception in 2006. And it's really because of the partners with this program that we're able to reach these goals. Cobb County Water System participated in every outreach program for promoting the WaterSense program last year. It included giving 3,600 WaterSense labeled shower heads to Kennesaw State University. I know in just the first 6 months that saved them 28% on their water use and thousands of dollars. They also partnered with Niagara Conservation, Green Plumbers USA, Home Depot to promote WaterSense labeled toilets and shower heads again, giving away another 6,000 shower heads. And getting those products into the hands of the community is critically important, and for these kinds of efforts, I would really like to thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Okay. So today we're going to recognize them with this beautiful award. If you can join me in thanking them for their efforts. Would you ladies like to share any words? No?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tab 2 will take us to Sports Service Agencies, 2 items. John?
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Hankerson. This item is regarding our request for proposals that we want to send out for architecture and engineering services for the 2016 SPLOST new police headquarters. And when we send those out, we should receive them back from the proposers just before Christmas, and that'll allow us to review them and bring back to you a proposal for a designer at the beginning of the year. But prior to doing that, Georgia law requires that you hold a public hearing anytime that a consultant may cost more than $100,000. We request that you hold that public hearing now.
Thank you. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this particular item? The public hearing is now open. Please come forward. Seeing and hearing none, the public hearing is closed. Thank you. Second item, please.
Chairman, like the first one, this one is also a request for a public hearing in connection with the request for proposals for the new 2016 Public Safety Training Facility. We request you hold a public hearing at this time.
Thank you. We will now open a public hearing for this item only. Anybody wishing to speak, please come forward. Hearing and seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Look forward to your proposals. Tab 3, your first public comment. Counselor?
You have 6 individuals signed up for this portion of public comment. The first speaker is Robert Soricelli. If you please come forward.
Chairman, Commissioners. I read Commissioner Cupid's newsletter about Magnolia Crossing property. The purchase of the property is in line with multiple plans that area residents have weighed since in 2004. The thought was that since Magnolia Crossing was the only property targeted for purchase, that current residents could be absorbed by other area apartments. It has become clear that the low rental rates of Magnolia Crossing and property management practices of the apartment complex are not commensurate with other apartments in Cobb and Metro Atlanta. The South Cobb Redevelopment Authority has offered assistance beyond which is legally required to facilitate the move of these residents in light of the crime and structural deficiencies of the property. The accelerated timeline puts families in a very difficult position during the holidays and school year. Cobb County staff facilitated a tent resource meeting to apprise residents of additional resources, which increased the supplemental amount of $250 to $1,000. Service providers were on hand to inform residents of additional assistance. While Cupid thought that the tent resource meeting would facilitate the residents collectively, addressing issues with staff and asking questions about the transition, they instead received pieces of paper about the transition. That doesn't mean that residents' concerns weren't heard of, or they can't have an opportunity to discuss their concerns with the commissioner or other service providers. The property is now under control of the SCRA, and they, not the commissioner, will have to make a decision on a path forward. The hope is that ongoing communication of concerns can result in increased resources or a more sensitive timetable for residents to transition from the property. Overall, the purchase of Magnolia Crossing is a strong step in the revitalization of the Six Flags corridor, as was dreamed, desired, and planned with residents as far back as 2004. It will result in removing a property that has 1/3 of the crime associated with Six Flags area and significant code enforcement and structural concerns. While ushering in the good of the project, the transition shouldn't unnecessarily tarnish the sentiment, holidays, and stability of current residents and families. This redevelopment is not only good for South Cobb, but for all of Cobb. However, it does appear that affordable housing is an issue in Metro-wide Atlanta and needs to be addressed in multiple manners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Susan McCoy. If you come forward, please.
I'm sorry, sir. Sir, did we get your name?
It's on the sheet.
Could you speak it for the record, please? I'm sorry.
Robert Soricelli.
Thank you, sir.
morning. My name is Susan Jeanette McCoy. I live at 4401 Blackland Drive, Marietta, Georgia, 30067 in East Cobb. I live very nearby the country club. I live in my husband's childhood home, and that's where we raise our two sons. I have a son, Nicholas. He is 14, and he is a freshman at Walton, plays rugby, plays tennis. I have a 12-year-old, Aiden, who attends school at Dickerson. I went to law school at John Marshall in Midtown. I attended Kennesaw State University, where I met my husband, and we subsequently got married on the beach in Jamaica. And I care very much about my county. I care very much about my state. I care very much about what happens in the future of Cobb County. And I have done my best to speak up for the people of Cobb County. And I'm ready to move forward. I do want to be of service to the people of Cobb County. I want to say thank you to Bob Ott. He has been a wonderful commissioner to me, and you will have my vote again in the future for whatever role you should decide to take in Cobb County. Tomorrow is going to be Veterans Day. My father was in the Air Force. My mother was from Spain. I speak Spanish fluently, and I hope to be able to help the Spanish-speaking community in Cobb County and Georgia as well through legal advocacy. I wanted to read a poem by William Ernest Henley. I believe it's pronounced Invictus. And this is for all the veterans tomorrow who have fought valiantly for the causes they believed in. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I think whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Sonia Fisher. If you would please come forward.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Fisher. I reside at Magnolia Crossing, 4906 Flags Drive, apartment I-6. As of October 15, 2015, I was informed that the apartments will be demolished, and as of today, that's less than 60 days that I have to move. I'm a single parent of 2 children with asthma. I'm on a fixed income. Not to mention that this is happening around the holidays, but I'm giving birth to a baby on Thanksgiving Day. I have been paying rent in a timely and orderly fashion, and I'm unsatisfied with the options that were given to me as to when I have to move and the type of assistance I will receive towards my move. I'm asking for a later move-out date, preferably the end of the school year, financial assistance of $5,000, or to save my own future rent, homeowner classes, or at least a voucher. Please, someone help me with my assistance.
I'm Makai Coles and one of the children affected by what's going on at Magnolia Crossing Apartments. Not only is my birthday 6 days before Christmas, my mommy told me that I may not have Christmas because we have to move. I am afraid of becoming homeless. I am in 3rd grade and I am doing very well in school. I don't want anything to mess that up. Please don't do this to my family. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Makia Coles. If you come forward, please.
Makaya, thank you. Next speaker.
Okay, the next speaker is Larry King.
Good morning.
Morning, Larry.
Good to see you all again. I have some comments to make about leadership. From my observation over time, I've observed that persons generally go into public service to do well and to do good. To do well and to do good. Cobb is going to do well. The whole county is going to do well from the dividends that we're going to reap from the future development and increase in value of the 11 acres representing Magnolia Crossing that was purchased for $3.7 million. Cobb is going to do well as this property is going to be developed and its value increase maybe by tenfold, moreover than the price of the bonds or the cost of the initial purchase. When I look at some of the other properties that have been developed and scheduled for development, I look at Hunters Grove and Kingsley Village right across the street from Magnolia. That property was purchased for about $20 million and is projected to be part of a $200 million deal. So I feel that whatever is being invested in Magnolia Crossing and adjacent properties is going to also be leveraged and multiply and benefit all of us who live in Cobb County. So Cobb, from my perspective, can and should also do good by being more compassionate concerning the residents that are being forced to move out of Magnolia Crossing. My suggestions are the following: that a voucher of at least $2,000 for the inconvenience of having to relocate during the holidays be provided to each resident family. Second, a reimbursement check, not a voucher, a check in the amount of $3,500 be given also to each of the approximately 80 residents. Now, the issue here is one of respect for humanity and also the golden rule. The golden rule says, so whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them. True leadership is not burdened by what has always been done. True leadership is about a vision for a livable future and the benefit of all humanity. Leadership means that the path less traveled is sometimes the path that real leaders take. Don't allow your decisions to be influenced by social status or lifestyle. Base it instead on what is the right thing to do. I've been reading a book, as many of you have also been reading, and it has a story in it about a family that was turned away because there was no room at the inn. The residents of Magnolia Crossing should not have to seek shelter in a manger during the holidays because of this set of decisions that were impractical, decisions that were illogical, and the decisions that turn out to be immoral. The South Cobb Redevelopment Authority, Community Development, and the Commission have known for months that they would have to, in your terms, evict these families. That is all the more reason to extend the move-out date beyond January of 2016. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Next speaker.
The next speaker is Albert McCray. If you would come forward, please.
Commissioners. My name is Albert McCray. I'm a 30-year resident of Mapleton. And I have coached and mentored a number of my friends and family on the Six Flags Drive. I'd like to ask Chairman Lee for a variance for our families that have made their way here this morning to speak and let humanity have a voice at the table. If it's okay with the chairman to allow a variance for some of the families that didn't make it here on time to sign in, I will be most gracious for that variance.
Sure. Go ahead, finish your comments. We'll consider your request.
All we ask for is humanity to have a seat at the table when we negotiate these things. I want to make it clear that we've been advocating for redevelopment for South Cobb and more resources for South Cobb. And we're so happy to see that this is finally coming. The investments that's being made on Six Flags Drive and the upgrades that we hope for. But with anything, there's a right and a wrong way to do everything. And I've seen a number of situations that come across my email and across the news. I see the same thing, the same principles. People just want to have a voice at the table. Whether it's a run-in with the law enforcement, where people just want a voice at the table to make sure that everything is fair and equitable, and their voice is not being heard. Whether it's a eviction notice that you got 60 days to get out of your home, and here's $1,000, and take that $1,000 and your family and go live under an underpass somewhere. Because we all know in Cobb County, there's a lack of affordable housing for our citizens that make less than $33,000 a year. And those citizens can be veterans that have fought on our behalf. Those citizens can be working moms and dads that lost money due to banks and insurance company not doing the right thing. And we have compassion for capitalism in this nation, where if capitalism needs a little hand to get something done, it's not called welfare. If capitalism needs a little hand for a farm bill to produce more products, it's not called welfare. But let a struggling family just need $10. We got a problem with that. That's not true leadership. We as a government need to have a platform in Cobb County where our citizens have a platform to grow and do what they can to make a better living. All of us, a large number of us in this room, haven't always had a silver spoon in our hand. But a little bit of compassion for humanity has made room for I myself to get a degree and stand before you. I know many people on the podium ain't always had a silver spoon in their hand. But we had a government that created a little pathway for families to make it to the next mile. We have a government that wants better schools for our families because we know that's a great investment for the future of everyone in our county, in our country. The GI Bill is a little help for families to get an education, soldiers that fight on our behalf. All I ask as we go down this road of doing what we all want to do, give humanity a seat at the table, not just capitalism. Give humanity a seat at the table. We might not like what is being said, but at least Give the folks a chance to speak their voice so that we can do our homework. Let's don't take the easy way out, to demonize an area of people saying that they got crime, they got this going on, they got deplorable living conditions.
Thank you, Mr. McCray. Your time has expired.
Just to say that we tried to do what we could.
Thank
I've
you.
heard that excuse many times before.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker.
Mr. Chairman, do we have permission to consolidate these two lists?
Yeah, Commissioners, the county attorney is pointing out to me, this is the last speaker for the first session of the public comment. The list of signed up speakers for the second public comment appear to be here for the same purpose. And we would, with your consent, I would like to move those 6 forward to continue the public comment at this time. Is that agreeable? Thank you. If you would call the next speaker.
The next speaker is Philip Barnett. If you come forward, please.
Commissioners, can you hear me well? I'm Philip Barnett, business owner in Cobb County. I've been here for 11 years. I'm a transplant from New York City. And I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I'm here to ruffle feathers. That's what I do. Basically, I do business where you live. If you live in Cobb County, I did business in your neighborhood. And I also work for Cobb County in the water department. And they explained to me that I would never work in Cobb County again. This was in 2002. And I decided to open my own business. So now I'm employing people in Cobb County. Cobb County states that they don't have funds to take care of the people, and that pay taxes, that help the police officers in Precinct 2. When snow came, I think it was last year, the year before, and they couldn't get up the hill, the same people that's gonna get evicted are the same people that were pushing up the cars to get up the hill. QT, I spoke to them because they're one of my business partners, and Six Flags. I went to Six Flags. So we could I went to them so we could raise some funds for the people to move out. They're asking for $5,000 a piece, which we know moving out, if you owned a home before, $5,000 doesn't cut it. If you ask them for $2,000, it's not gonna work. So I'm willing to put up my next check that I'm gonna get from the Hyatt to help support the movement of these people. Not that I have to do it, but I've been homeless before. And I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be hungry. You know, the best and worst time of my life was, the worst time was when the Twin Towers fell. But the best time was the day after, when everybody was like, hooray, United States, let's work together. But we lost that, right? Then we had the flood in Powder Springs, and the police couldn't respond. They couldn't respond because they was unprepared. These people are unprepared. But we still helped people in Powder Springs. I gave them food with the Red Cross, but no one, I'm not asking for accolades. I'm not asking for awards. I'm asking for Cobb County to do the right thing, because you do have the money. There's 2 stadiums going up in the city, and that's like $3 billion. If you take less than 1%, that's $400,000. $5,000 can move the whole family, all the families out of there. So you can demolish it. You can do what you do because that's business. But they don't understand business. They understand I'm hungry now, and I have to eat, and I need shelter, and that's the basic needs for anybody. So let's trade places, because I tried to do it last night, but I failed at it. I was so comfy in my home, I was gonna sleep outside just to get that feeling back, how it feels to be homeless, but I couldn't do it because I was too comfy. So let's do this. Get the 5 commissioners, we go down to Magnolia Crossings, and let's spend the night in one of the apartments. If anybody's willing to do that, because I'm willing to do it. I don't want to sleep outside, but that's what's going to happen in a couple of months. If anybody's willing to do it, let's do it. And Mr. Hankerson, if you're willing to employ any of the people in that area, do some job training, because that's what I've been preaching from day one. If you don't feed the people now, they're going to come and eat at your plate. And you may not want to see the people that's going to be eating right next to you. So might as well give them a little blight so they can survive. And Mr. Tim Lee, I understand your pops was sick,
And I understand that because my pops was sick when I was younger. But just imagine if your pops didn't have a place to stay at the end of the night. Because at the last commission meeting, you left because you had to see your pops. I can't go see my pops because he's not here no longer. But I know you know the right thing to do. And then me and you know the same people, quiet as kept. But I'm letting you know now, if you don't do the right thing now, everybody in Cobb is going to suffer the consequences. Whether it's big business, small business, whether it's your neighbor or not. But Adcock knows because his precinct, I do business with them also. But it's kind of shaky because at one time, I can shake the hand, but at the other hand, I can get arrested. I'm a business owner, but I'm also a black male. And that's not being spoken about, but the commissioner knows firsthand now. But I'm letting you know now, because I've been through gentrification 4 to 5 times already. It's not going to be a good thing for Cobb County if you let that Magnolia Crossing go down and you got a pregnant woman with kids be out on the street.
Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Laquan
Are you
Wilson.
okay?
Would you please come
Lisa?
forward?
Are you okay?
Groaning and appreciation.
Pardon me?
Hello, my name is Laquan Wilson. I'm also a resident at Magnolia Crossing. I came here with an attempt to communicate with the staff and all in power and all that's aware of the situation at hand. I don't know if you all had a visual or been able to see and address the situation that's actually occurring. We received less than 60 days to move. We still have to pay our full rent. And there are no places that's in the vicinity that's even within a $100 difference. I don't know if you're aware that it's over 250 people that are getting ready to be homeless within countdown, not even a little over a month. And we weren't given any notice. We weren't given any opportunity to save any funding. We weren't even presented a plan to be successful. I don't know if you're aware that over 150 of these kids are in the school system. I just don't know if you're aware of that there's no positive outlook in this whole situation at all. There's no route, there's no plan, there's no provision to be successful in this situation. And more or less just coming up here for people who aren't aware that, because I'm quite sure everybody's overwhelmed with so many different issues and so many things that's going on that maybe things slip by you, maybe some things aren't seen, some things aren't heard. But this is America. It's supposed to be justice. And anytime 250 people are going to be put out the door right around Christmas time, right after Christmas time, it's injustice. And then the funding that was spoke on was only supposed to be received after you moved, within accordance. Now, I don't know what the gray line accordance mean, but we all know that means there is within stipulations. And I don't think anyone can come up with the funding to move a family in less than 2 months and still pay rent and still be able to save. It's a real hardship right now that's going on at the present moment. And if something could just be thought about, something could be addressed, something could be put together for the residents. This is a lot of families at hand. And as the gentleman said, where are these families going to go? Where are we going to push them? If we're redeveloping the county and the city and everybody has to go, what are we redeveloping for if no one is going to be there? I just wanted to give a view just for people to think on, because when you look down at it at the end of the day, nobody deserves to be homeless. Nobody deserves to be without. If the plan is to better the community, it should be a plan and a layout for the families. It should be an outlook. It shouldn't be hey, call these apartments and see what you can figure out. Because even if you do figure out something, if you're paying rent every month, how much are you able to put towards moving somewhere else? And then what about the families? What are you going to put on the table for your family for Thanksgiving, for Christmas? It's just, where is the heart in the situation? Business will always be business, and that's true. But you can't do business with a good code of moral ethics. And when you look at the end of the day that over 250 people are going to be homeless, if that's good business ethics, I don't understand business. And that's all I just wanted to state.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Michael Murphy, if you come forward.
Good morning.
Morning, Michael.
My name is Michael Murphy. I'm the past chair of the Austell Community Task Force. This is a very visceral occasion for me because in 1999, when my business failed in Atlanta, I moved to Six Flags Drive. I was a resident of Hunters Grove. And as some of the previous speakers talked about, times have not always been good. I can remember the days that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'd come out of the complex, turn left. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'd turn right. But I was determined to keep moving. I'm here to join with the previous speakers in calling your attention to a matter that just doesn't seem like the Cobb way. This is not what we thought we were getting when we joined in support for redevelopment in South Cobb. It is something seriously wrong when on one hand we boast about our bond rating on Wall Street, when we seem to be condoning the disrespectful and condescending treatment of citizens on our Main Street. Bondholders of this development are not likely to be voters in Cobb, but those citizens that have been rolled like sod placement not only will be voting, but probably will be influencing other voters who will vote for representatives who think all constituents on and off Main Street matter. A point that quickly came to my mind was that if the shoe were on the other foot, if you had to walk 100 yards in their shoes, I'm convinced that you would not only have a spit shine on those shoes, but a different shape to boot. This action, when at a time a segment of our society opines Black Lives Matter, let me chant a chorus that says all lives matter, all residents matter, and how we treat each other matters to me and to other citizens of Cobb County. If I may paraphrase from the former President Carter's Attorney General Nicholas Katzenbach, who said, "The rules and laws of this country make the poor and working class functional outlaws." How can we even appear to feel that it is okay to treat families and children like they're the eggshells from this morning's breakfast omelet to be discarded and forgotten? Let me be clear. Government cannot be compassionate. I repeat, government cannot be compassionate. But ladies and gentlemen, you can. You can, and I urge you to do so. Thank you and good day.
Next speaker, please.
The next speaker is Trent Walker. Trent Walker, if you come forward.
Good morning. My name is Trent Walker. I'm a resident of Magnolia Crossing. I've been there about 3.5 years. And since day one I moved in there, they was talking about closing down, but I told them I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, but now I do. And I just ask everyone to please help us out so we can go forward in life, because the reason I moved over on that side of town, Magnolia Crossing, because I'm close to my job. And I need my job, and I'm right around the block from the job, really. And I don't want to move too far away from it. But if y'all don't mind, y'all will assist us helping us get somewhere else to stay so we can do the right thing and continue to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Raymond Chase. Please come forward.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioners, Mrs. Commissioners. As a citizen, my name is Raymond Chase. As a citizen, as a resident of Cobb County and a citizen of the United States of America, I am deeply hurt and appalled by Cobb County for doing this to us at Magnolia Crossing. You is kicking us out of our homes during the winter, during the holidays, and during the school year for the kids. How would you feel if you was one of us? You would feel very hurt and disappointed in you guys who we elected as officials to help us out at this time of need. A great man once said, injustice is everywhere. Our threat is justice is everywhere. As I'm saying this, because it's this injustice for us, and injustice for you guys to be putting us out in less than 60 days, excuse me. I'm a senior citizen. I make less than $20,000 a year. I'm a cancer survivor. I got chronic liver disease, which my medicine has cost me $31,000 per month. I moved to Magnolia Crossing 5 years ago because of my situation. I'm a poor black man in this society. And I feel though, with you guys' help and you guys step up and tell South Cobb Redevelopment to give us more time to move, because 60 days is not enough time for us to move. It's not enough time for nobody to move. You couldn't even move in 60 days. But here they know this from a long, long time ago and never said a word to, I've been there for 5 years, never said a word to me about we're gonna have to move. Never has said a word to me. I go down to the office, do we have to move? No, everything's okay. Everything is okay. I pay my rent on time because I had to have somewhere to stay. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I've been here for 15 years, and I've been a resident of Cobb County since I've been here, especially in South Cobb. I've been in Austell ever since I've been here. I've been in Austell, Georgia. But the thing of it is, do the right thing. Help us out. We're just asking. Please, I'm begging you, please, as the commissioners of Cobb County, please help us. We need you guys' help. It's no world that all of us that's living in Cobb can do this. We can't do this, and then we're paying rent, then you're gonna tell us you got to pay your rent in full, which is $550, but you're gonna give us $1,000 back. You ain't doing nothing but giving us rent back. You're not helping me, you're hurting me. Tell me, well, Mr. Chase, take your money that you putting on rent and go try to find yourself an adequate home. But I've been in Cobb since I've been here. I don't know nowhere else but Cobb. Nowhere else but Cobb County, Austell, Georgia, 30168. That's where I've been at, all since I've been here in Georgia. Please feel us. If it was you guys, you be doing the same thing I'm doing, asking you, literally begging you guys to help us. With $1,000, we can't move nobody in $1,000. It takes $1,000 for your security deposit and your first month's rent. I went to one place, they're talking $750, $792 for one bedroom. $792 for one bedroom, and that's a big increase from $550 to $700. I can't do it with my health and with my medication. I'm gonna be out on the streets just like everybody else, and I don't want to do that. You talk about crime. That's what's leading everybody else to crime. You putting us out, you kicking us out like, get out of here. You spitting in my face, me personally. You're spitting in my face by letting South Cobb Development do this to us. You guys have the power to make changes, make some changes. And I thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers?
Next speaker is Lynn Walton. If you come forward.
I'll be brief. Unfortunately, I have a pretty good job in this area, but I do wish there's more time. This has been known for some time, but he just said, nothing was said because the previous management made it seem like we're going to be there a while. So the only thing I'm asking is more time to move, and this is not a good time for any of us. But unfortunately, I'm not employed. I'm employed and doing pretty good. My mother's on fixed income, and she may want to speak on speak. And I disagree about the crime out there because the crime came out there. It came when the buses came. And you say, ain't saying it's always been bad. We lived out there before. But the crime came out there. So I don't take it as a bad place. It's just, apartments probably should have been torn down long ago, but people let it get run down. That's a shame. And it's a shame you don't have more Section 8 or more affordable housing in this county. And I try and get it here. Thank you.
Sir, did we get your name?
Lynn Walton.
Thank you, sir.
The final speaker is Helena Glover. And Ms. Glover, when you come forward, could you please give your address as well, please?
I know you have this turned low, but I speak loud enough for all of you to hear it. I'm ashamed you're elected. I'm going on back to
Okay, can I have your name, please?
to World War II,
Your name, please.
where the government first
Ma'am,
started tearing all the
excuse
houses
me,
down.
I need your name, please.
Hmm?
Your name, please.
My name is Ellen Francis Glover.
Thank you, Ms. Glover.
All right. And I can't believe that myself and my family from World War II to the present, that how could they died for you to stay alive? And how could you wait till Veterans Day almost to sit me, a survivor? I'm totally disabled now and have special needs. I can't see how you can sit me out on the street. You can let anybody do that because you were voted in, and I'm sure everybody thought about that. But the very point that I'm trying to make to you is, you wait until time to ice and snow to sit me on the street. How would you feel sitting on your suitcase? How would you feel? I weathered the storm, and I've never asked you to do anything. I took care of myself. I was not on your list of welfare. I stood my own grounds. But anybody with a half a brain know if you save when you get disabled, you will have to use it. And the government even set aside $7,000 for the public housing. It's still on the books down there on Spring Street in that library. All of those laws. How can you go over and just not give anybody anything?
I feel like that you don't care because you're doing fine. But look back at us who went through purgatory. For you to be sitting there. The Marine Corps, I'm sure, ain't funny. And I want justice from you. I don't want to be sitting on my suitcase out there. I want justice done. All I asked them to do was to honor HUD Section 8 for me so I could move into a decent place. That's all I ask. And how could you, and I know that the government still has it on its books and is still giving it, turn us down? I have always taken care of my family and myself. And I still want that done. It will be done, but sitting out there in the ice and snow, it's almost Thanksgiving. How could you not give the justice to all of us? You will be sitting in your house having a nice Thanksgiving. Where will we be? You will have a nice Christmas. What will I have? Look at all of us that live in Magnolia Court, who's independently trying to have something. Look back at that.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. That ends our public comment period for the entire meeting. The next tab is tab 4, our consent. Commissioners, I want to bring forward a motion to approve the consent agenda as revised and authorize the execution of the necessary documents by the appropriate county personnel. Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Tab 5. I'm going to excuse myself for a moment. If you wouldn't mind taking over the meeting real quick, please.
Mr. Massimo.
Commissioners and County Manager, our first item is to approve a consolidated contract with Atkins North America for program management services to include program management assistance, pre-construction services, right-of-way services, and complete construction management services for the 2016 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program and for continuation of the 2005 and 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Programs. A detailed scope of services for this consolidated contract was negotiated to include complete construction management, construction engineering and observation, right-of-way acquisition, program management assistance, geotechnical material testing services, pre-construction services, limited general engineering services. This year we also expanded that bit to include individual major infrastructure projects as necessary and airport programs. The term for this contract is 8 years, consisting of 4 work authorizations for a period of 2 years each. We request that the Board of Commissioners approve a consolidated contract with Atkins North America, Inc. for program management services to include program management assistance, pre-construction services, right-of-way services, and complete construction management services for the 2016 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program and for the continuation of the 2005 and 2011 SPLOST TIPS. Approved work authorization number 1 in an amount not to exceed $20,905,000 for the period of January 1, 2016 through December 31st, 2017. Authorize the corresponding budget transactions and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents in form substantially similar to that provided under separate cover and as approved by the county attorney's office.
Thank you. I will make the motion to approve agenda
Second.
item number 1 under transportation as presented.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Massimo, we talked yesterday. Could you just kind of let folks know as to why? I mean, the first year is, I think the first one is $20 million, and then just kind of talk a little bit about that, please.
Absolutely, sir. This year does represent a larger number than what we typically see, or this work authorization does. It does include the completion of the 2005 program. The 2005 SPLOST program, as you know, still has a few projects that are remaining in implementation because, as we remember, in the 2005 program, we had to defer some projects and then we undeferred those. Those are now moving forward to completion. The 2011 program is also substantially underway, but nonetheless still has some remainder complete. And I would expect as we move forward, when we get to the second work authorization under this, that there'll still be some remaining 2011, but it's primarily for the 2016. But it's the first time we've really had 3 programs housed under one.
Anything else? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Call the question. Motion carries 4-0.
Before we go to agenda item 2, I just wanted to recognize the program management team is here today. If you all stand. Atkins and they're members of their team, so thank you very much. Agenda item number 2 is to approve change order number 2 final to the contract with Baldwin Paving Company for roadway safety and operational improvements on Floyd Road widening and on Floyd Road sidewalks. Floyd Road from Clay Road to Hicks Road is an approved project in the 1994 Transportation Improvements Program TIP completion component of the 2005 SPLOST TIP. We request that the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 2 final to the contract with Baldwin Paving Company, Inc., with a savings to the project in the amount of $858,317.74 for roadway safety and operational improvements on Floyd Road widening, state project number CSMSL 0007-00-132, state PI number 0007132, and on Floyd Road sidewalk, state project number CM 00004-00-510, state PI number 0004510, COP project number D12CO, MIS contract number 000507, authorize the corresponding budget transactions, and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Cupid.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3, please.
To approve change order number 3 final to the contract with CMES Inc. for roadway safety and operational improvements on Lower Roswell Road East, project number D6140, and for Lower Roswell Road bicycle improvements, project number D10D0, MIS contract number 000484. Lower Roswell Road East is an approved roadway safety and operational improvements project in the 2005 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program. We request that the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 3 final to the contract with CMES Inc. with a savings to the project in the amount of $1,049,604.36 for roadway safety and operational improvements on Lower Roswell Road East, project number D6140, and for Lower Roswell Road bicycle improvements, project number D10D0, MIS contract number 000484, authorize the corresponding budget transactions, and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Hunt.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any comments? Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Last item, please.
To approve change order number 1 final to the contract with C.W. Matthews Contracting Company, Inc. for roadway safety and operational improvements on Shiloh Road, Shallowford Road, project number E6070, MIS contract number 000539. Shiloh Road, Shallowford Road is an approved roadway safety and operational improvements project in the 2011 SPLOST Transportation Improvements Program. We request that the Board of Commissioners approve change order number 1 final to the contract with C.W. Matthews Contracting Company, Inc. with a savings to the project in the amount of $1,390,879.58 for roadway safety and operational improvements on Shiloh Road, Shallowford Road, project number E6070, MIS contract number 000539, authorize the corresponding budget transactions, and further authorize the chairman to execute the necessary documents.
Commissioner Burrow.
Motion to approve.
Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Tab 6, please. Community Development Hearing. Counselor, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. County Manager, Madam County Attorney. For the record and the benefit of the applicant, my name is Sam Hensley Jr., the attorney for the Business License Division. And if I may, first, Mr. Chairman, I would like to say that the award that was handed out to the Community Development Agency and the Business License Division earlier in this meeting was very well deserved. As the outside counsel working with the Business License Division as a citizen of Cobb, I am always so impressed with how professional and diligent and conscientious they are. Dana Johnson and Sandra Richardson, Alicia Webb, and all the staff that works in that agency and that division are just superior. And I wanted to express publicly my appreciation. They make my job very easy. So it was an award well deserved. So
Thank you, sir.
we're here today, Mr. Chairman. As you indicated, we have one hearing on the appeal of an administrative denial of an application for an alcohol work permit for Mr. Daniel Klingler while working at the Marietta Fish Market. As you may recall, Mr. Chairman, this hearing was continued from October 13th of this year at the request of applicant's counsel, Mr. Larry Burke. The application was originally denied due to a conviction of furnishing alcohol to a minor on September 11th of 2014. This is a violation of Cobb Alcohol Code Section 6-206. In addition, Mr. Chairman, our evidence will show that as an aggravating circumstance, the applicant was also found working without an alcohol work permit in June of this year. This matter originally came before the License Review Board on September 14th of this year, and the LRB voted to deny the application, and that brings us here today. So again, the applicant is represented by counsel, and with your leave, Mr. Chairman, if Mr. Burke has any kind of opening statement, I would yield to that, and then I will call my witness.
Thank you, Mr. Burke.
Good morning, Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. I would echo Mr. Hemsley's statements regarding the professionalism of the department that he represents. I have long also been appearing on various matters before the appeals board, and they do an excellent job. My client was afforded a hearing before the appeals board. He was unrepresented at that time, and while I will say honestly that I've never attended a hearing that wasn't a fair and respectful hearing, sometimes when you're not represented, you don't always bring out the facts and the circumstances that may assist in terms of trying to present his case in the best light. With regard to that case, I'm not going to take up your time. We'll go ahead and get to the evidence, and we'll present our case at the appropriate time. Thank you.
Okay, just one moment. Are we waiving right reading, or is that not something we need to consider at this time?
Since this is not a show cause hearing, that's not required, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you.
And first, I would like to swear in all of the witnesses who will be testifying or believe they may be testifying in this hearing. If you would stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this proceeding shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, say, I do. Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to call Sergeant Bonnie Smith.
Thank you.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Could you please state your full name for the record?
Bonnie Smith,
And where are you employed, Ms. Smith?
the Cobb County Police Department Regulatory Services and Permits Unit.
And could you briefly tell us what your responsibilities are in that unit?
Yes, we regulate all businesses that have an alcohol license in Cobb County, and we issue permits for required employees of those establishments who need the permit.
And are you familiar with the applicant who is the subject of this hearing today, Mr. Daniel Klingler?
Yes, I am.
And how are you familiar with him?
We first became familiar with him in 2014 when he came to our office. It was August 15th of 2014, and applied for an alcohol permit to work at the Marietta Fish Market. During the investigation of that application, we determined he was not truthful on the back and leaving off a pending charge he had in Paulding County. And that charge was furnishing alcohol to a minor. Based on that charge, we were not able to make a decision at that time if he was eligible or not eligible. We needed to wait until we got a either a verdict or dismissal in court to determine if he was eligible.
And that's a requirement of the code, is it not, that you have to wait until there's a disposition of that case before you consider that application?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
It goes into a suspended status in our office until we get that information back. So that was explained to him at that time, that we couldn't make the decision until we got that paperwork, and that he needed to return that to us, and then we could make a decision. He did come back in our office on November 14th of 2014 with a conviction from Paulding County. He had disposition at that time. We gave him an appeal form. We explained to him how to file the appeal. We explained to him the time limit to file that appeal. And at that time, he left our office with that information and knew he was not eligible for employment at the Marietta Fish Market until he completed the process. At that time, we learned later that he never filed the appeal. He didn't go through the process. So he had 30 days to do that. He failed to do that.
Okay. Have you had any other contact or dealings with Mr. Klingler since that time?
Yes, we conducted, out of our offices, an inspection at the Marietta Fish Market this year on May 5th. And we found that Mr. Klingler was in fact working at the time of our inspection. He was the bartender on duty at that time, and he, again, did not have the permit, obviously, because he had not gone through that process. He was cited at that time for working without alcohol permit. And then he came back to our office August 24th of this year, filed an application. And at that time, we again explained to him he was not eligible for work until he went through this process. He filed the appeal, and we're here today.
Thank you very much. That's all the questions I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Counselor, any questions for the Sergeant?
Just briefly. Sergeant, with respect to the 824 application, that was denied for the same reason, the underage possession, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And with regard to that, he did file an appeal and proceed with that process, and that's what's brought us here today?
Correct.
Okay. The conviction, were you aware that he did enter a plea, took responsibility, and did complete all of his probation and everything he was supposed to do with respect to that charge?
I do know that he was convicted in Paulding County of that charge and brought us that paperwork. I don't know that I'm aware of what his conditions were at that time.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
That's all the witnesses that I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Sergeant. While the Sergeant's here, do the Commissioners have any questions? Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Burke.
Yes, Your Honor, I call Mr. Klingler.
Thank you.
Would you please state your name? Please state your name.
Daniel Klingler.
And Mr. Klingler, it's been indicated to the commissioners that you had a furnishing alcohol to a minor charge back in 2014. Can you explain the circumstances under which that came about? Were you actually serving to a minor at a restaurant?
No, at the time, me and some of my friends had gone out to a bar that I had worked at, and I had a small group of friends. I had just moved here. I didn't really know many people yet. So we came in there. We went up there one day. I went out with one of the kids who I'd seen up at the bar at the time, and our bar policy was 18 and up until 10 o'clock, and then after that it was 20 and 1 up, and we had a bouncer at the door carding everyone. So I had seen this kid numerous times at the bar drinking there. I just made the assumption that he was 21. So when we all hung out, I bought a pitcher for the table. He was sitting there. He was drinking it with us. The actual circumstance for the arrest after that was we were driving home. We got pulled over for speeding. They breathalyzed the driver. They were asking us where we were. They proceeded to breathalyze everyone else in the car. And I blew over, but I was a passenger in the car. I was of legal age at the time. And then going through, they breathalyzed everyone else, and they found out that the other child in the back was in fact underage at the time. And zero tolerance, so he was arrested for that also.
And did they question him about where he obtained the alcohol?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell them, and what did you tell them? Did you take responsibility for the fact that you brought the pitcher back to the table?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And was that the basis for the charge of you furnishing alcohol to a minor back in 2014?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you went to court, did you take responsibility for that when you found out that that was an improper thing to do?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what consequences did you suffer at that point in time?
I had a $1,200 fine. I had a suspension of license at the time also. I had an expired license at the time in the backseat, so I had an improper use of license. That was a 6-month suspension on that part. And then I had a year probation. Everything has been completed since then. Everything was done on time, and no late fees or anything else associated with that.
With regard to your employment history, how long have you worked in the restaurant and bar business?
My parents owned a restaurant when I was growing up, so I started working for them when I was 14 back in New Jersey, and since then, I've been going to school full time also, and I've been serving, bussing tables, bartending, managing, pretty much all facets of the restaurant since I was 14.
Okay. And with regard to the inability to obtain a liquor license or a liquor serving permit here in Cobb County, does that affect your ability to get regular employment here?
Yes, very much so. I actually, earlier this year, it was July, actually it was June, I'm sorry. I just moved up here to Kennesaw for school, and I actually lived down in Paulding County at the time, so it was a 45-minute drive to work. So I moved up here to cut that to about 10, 15 minutes. And then after that, that was later in August, that I officially was terminated from the Marietta Fish Market. I moved over from bartending to a cashier up front, which requires no liquor permit. And so since then, yeah, it's affected my ability to have any job here in Cobb County.
With regard to the employment at the Marietta Fish Market, you did not have a permit when you went and applied there. What did you show them that caused them to hire you?
I just applied. They never asked for a liquor permit at the time when I was initially hired.
Okay. Did you have a receipt that you showed them that said you were approved?
Yeah, the first time that I went to start the appeal process, they gave me a receipt that was saying that I was approved. It wasn't the actual picture ID. It was just the receipt of the purchase.
But you were told, though, that that was not a permit and that you could not serve without your permit. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. I did.
Okay. All right. Despite that, your employer at Marietta Fish Market has asked me to come here and assist you in trying to get your permit reinstated. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With regard to the outcome of the inspection that was done at the Marietta Fish Market where you were determined not to have a permit, are you aware of the changes that have been made by the all of the restaurants under the Marietta Diner, Marietta Fish Market umbrella regarding the now new policy that exists within the restaurant for the monitoring and the servicing of alcohol?
Yes, I believe that they had one of the floor managers take on a new position, and I believe that's her only responsibility, is that she monitors liquor permits, all the permits associated with that, the ones with the restaurants, and some of the minor paychecks, but her primary concern is the liquor permits.
And in addition to that, is it your understanding that even if you were to be granted a permit here today, that you would have to go through a certification course that is now given to every employee that comes on board with any of those restaurants in order to be in a position where you would be able to serve for those restaurants?
Yes, sir, I was informed of that.
Okay. And are you asking these commissioners to grant you this one more chance to straighten yourself out and continue on the career path that you have chosen?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait until the counselor gets done, please.
Mr. Klingler, I want to clarify the circumstances of the charge that you received for furnishing alcohol to a minor. I wasn't quite clear on what happened. tell me again, you were at the bar where you worked, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there was a group of people at a table drinking?
Yes, sir. There was a group of us there.
Okay. Were you on duty at that time? Were you serving?
No, sir.
Was this after a shift, or what was the time frame?
It just wasn't my day that I was scheduled to work.
Okay. So you were in there as a patron, but it was the bar where you worked?
Yes, sir.
And you physically brought a pitcher of beer to the table, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Where was the server at this time that was serving that table?
They were the high tops around the table, so the bartender was taking care of those tables. And I mean, I worked there, so I knew the bartenders also. So just to kind of save them some time, I went up to the bar and ordered the pitcher myself and brought it back to the table.
Did you ask them, the server for that table, if they had checked the IDs for the people that were at that table?
I did not at the time.
Did you check the IDs for anybody at that table?
I did not. Just the group that I was with was one of the other bartenders with me at the time. And then, like I said, two of the other people who were regulars who had come in. So I made the assumption that they were of legal age, seeing them at the bar before.
And so after that, you got into a car with all or some of those people at the table?
Yes, sir.
Where were you going after that?
They were just driving us home.
Okay. You were a passenger, you were not the driver?
Yes, sir. I was a passenger.
But you were in a car full of underage people who had been drinking at the bar where you worked?
It was one underage person. One was our designated driver, myself, and then another person of legal age who was drinking, who was a passenger.
Okay. And the driver was stopped for speeding, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also had an expired license, you mentioned. Was that determined at the time that you were given the citation for furnishing alcohol to a minor?
Yes, sir. I had just moved from New Jersey right before this. I'd received a ticket on my way down. I think it was in Maryland when they have the automatic ones on the highway. That ticket was sent to my old address, and so I had a failure to appear for that, so they suspended my license. Since then, though, I have everything reinstated. All my licenses are now officially Georgia, license changed over.
Okay. Now, moving forward to, I believe it was June of this year, when Sergeant Smith testified that she came to the Marietta Fish Market, did an inspection, and you were found to be working without a permit. Is that correct?
They came for the inspection on May 5th.
May 5th. I'm sorry if I misstated the time. How long had you been working there without an alcohol work permit?
I believe I started in September, possibly the end of August of the previous year.
Okay. So, several months you had been working there without an alcohol work permit?
Yes, sir.
Knowing that you were required to have an alcohol work permit to serve in the restaurant?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Burrow has a question.
I have a few questions. Mr. Hensley cleared up a couple of questions that I had. And one was if the people at the table were carded, but you just mentioned that they weren't, that you knew the bartender and came back with the pitcher and purchased the pitcher.
Yes, ma'am.
Was anyone in the car cited with a DUI, or just you were just cited with serving to underage?
The driver hadn't been drinking at all, so there was no DUI involved. But I was cited with the furnishing alcohol to minor, and then the minor was also charged with it's minor under the influence in Georgia.
Okay. But you didn't receive a DUI that night?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And did you have a valid permit prior to the May 2015 citation of an expired permit?
I had a Paulding County permit, but I did not have a
Okay.
Cobb County permit.
Okay. So you didn't have one for Marietta Fish Market where you were working?
No, ma'am.
Or one in Cobb at all? Okay.
No, ma'am.
And it was your driver's license that had expired or was suspended from a previous
Yes, ma'am.
charge? Okay. Okay, I think that's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions? Commissioner Weatherford.
Mr. Clinton, did your permit in Paulding County get revoked because of this?
No, sir.
Your serving permit?
I hadn't worked in Paulding County after that though. So I hadn't gone to re-update it or anything, so I don't know if they would have revoked it at the time.
But I'm just a little confused. You were a bartender at the bar where you served this table, but you were off that day and you had a valid permit for that particular restaurant or bar.
Yes, sir.
And since then, you've left Paulding County, but you're not sure if they revoked your permit in Paulding County or not, because you didn't go back there, or what?
I haven't.
We got like a year difference here, don't we, or something?
Yeah, it was, the bar that I worked at back then was closed in April of 2014, I believe it was. And then I also coached gymnastics, so I was just doing private lessons over the summer for a little bit. I didn't have a car at the time, so it was hard to find rides to work as it was. So there was just about until the end of August that I actually made the move over towards Cobb County to try and get another job.
But you've gone through the process before in Paulding County, so you understand you have to have a permit in order to serve, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Commissioner Cupid.
Thank you, Chairman. And piggybacking off of Commissioner Weatherford's questions, were you aware that you needed to get a permit when you worked in different counties, or?
At the beginning, no.
Okay.
Like I said, I grew up in New Jersey, and we didn't have liquor serving permits at all. So even when I had to get one for Paulding County, it was still about 3 months after working at the restaurant that anyone even asked me if I had one. So when I moved over to the Cobb County restaurants, I didn't know if I needed to just if I could transfer it or how that would work out until I went into the office and talked to Officer over here.
So that process wasn't clear to you?
At the time, no, ma'am.
Okay, at the time, I'm sorry.
At the time, no, ma'am, it wasn't. I'm sorry.
So you knew that you needed a Cobb County permit at the time of the citation?
At the time of the citation?
Yes, sir.
For the ticket for not having one?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Was your manager aware that you did not have a Cobb County permit when you were working there?
I believe originally, yes. Because I told them that I was going through the appeal process. I didn't finish the appeal process, is what I believe happened, and then, that was a month or two later, and then I just wasn't asked about it again. And then, I was a student full-time, and it's just one of those things that got away from me.
Okay. Is anyone else from the same restaurant here today? Is your manager here today, or someone who could speak on your behalf?
No, ma'am. None of my managers are here.
Okay.
Anything else?
No further questions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Commissioner Ott.
I'm a little bit confused here. So you went in September of 14 over to the business license office to get a server's permit, correct?
It was August of 14, yes, sir.
All right, August of 14. And at that time, they told you because of the serving to a minor, you didn't qualify and you had to do appeal process. But I think you testified that you understood that you and were told you could not serve alcohol until you got a permit. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I was still waiting to go to court for that charge. And when I was originally went up for my permit, I was denied because of the pending charge. And I was told to come back after that had gone through. And then that was the following month that I had actually gone to court for it. And then I came back, I think it must have been right after September 11th was my court date. And then I started the appeal process at that point.
But when you came back in September, you were told you could not serve, and that you got the appeal application, you started the appeal process. But was it not your understanding in September of 14 that you could not serve alcohol?
At the time, I didn't know that I couldn't serve alcohol while I was in the appeal process. I didn't know if it was like a leeway time or how that would work out, but I was later informed that I could not serve
When were
alcohol.
you informed that you could not?
When I think it was a month later when I came back and I heard from back.
Okay, so that's in October.
Yes, sir.
But you were cited in May. So how do you explain that from October of 2014 until May of 2015 that you were serving alcohol when you knew you couldn't be serving alcohol?
Like I said before, I was a full-time student, and I was very busy with that and just trying to work. I had just got my own car finally. I just moved up here. It's one of those things, it became a routine of going to work, going to school, and it's just something that was in the back of my mind, or it slipped my mind.
Yeah, well, part of the problem is that what you're asking to get is a service permit, which cannot be routine and not slip to the back of your mind to card people when you're serving.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Counselor. Mr. Burke.
Yes, we have no other witnesses.
Thank you.
And I will reserve my closing till the end, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you. Mr. Burke, you have any closing comments? Please.
Mr. Klingler is a 23-year-old young individual who has been in the restaurant business all his life. He came here to Georgia, and it has been a hard lesson for him with respect to the laws here that varied substantially from the laws in New Jersey where he came from. With respect to that, I believe he has indicated today that he has taken full responsibility for what he did do in terms of both the alcohol problem, which initially caused this situation. It wasn't a serving alcohol to a minor in the sense that he was employed and was serving to a minor. But certainly there's no excuse for having brought the pitcher to the table where there was a minor and allowing someone to drink there. We are asking you to give him a second chance with respect to this. I understand the concern about him working in a bar for a period of time without a license when he knew he should have had a license. All I can say to that, or all I can do to speak to that, is to say he was young, he was a full-time student, and that was employment that allowed him to continue to be a student, to continue to pay his bills. It wasn't right, and I believe that he has since refrained from any involvement in alcohol service, even though now he's taken on a job which doesn't require any service of alcohol, but by the same token doesn't provide him with the same opportunities as he would have if he had that permit. As I have indicated and as he has testified, he would have to go through a complete certification course in order to be rehired at the Marietta Fish Market. That certification course specifically deals with all of the laws that we've been talking about here today. It deals with all of the employee standards that are set by the restaurant, that have been set by the employee manual now for those restaurants. He is here today, or I am here today. Commissioner Cupid asked about, or someone asked about anyone else being here to speak on his behalf. Perhaps it was Commissioner Weatherford. I have been hired by Gus Chelios, who is the owner of all of these restaurants, to be here to represent him today, only because they consider him to be a diligent employee. It's very hard in the restaurant business to find people who show up on time, who work while they're there, and who are consistently available in the event that there are changes that are necessary. I have been asked to be here to represent him, to give him this opportunity to address you and to present the best face for his case. So I am asking you to consider giving him this second chance. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hensley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we have here is an example of, at best, carelessness, and at worst, a flagrant disregard for the rules that apply to people who serve alcohol in Cobb County. We have a situation where alcohol was actively served to young people at a table at an establishment where he worked that could have led to a tragedy. In addition to that, we have a situation where, despite having already gotten in trouble for an alcohol violation and knowing that he had to have a work permit, he worked for several months, by his own admission, serving alcohol without such a permit. We have to hold these servers to a higher standard than we would than somebody who's just helping out a friend get a pitcher of beer at a table. As I've said many times in these hearings, this is our last line of defense from a tragedy happening. And we have a situation where we have a lot of excuses. He's young, he's a student, he needed the money, he wants a second chance. Somebody that gets killed in an automobile accident because somebody's been served alcohol that shouldn't have it isn't going to get a second chance. So I am deeply troubled by the pattern of behavior here in regard to the service of alcohol. And I would recommend that the denial be upheld, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. The public hearing is closed. Turn the case over to Commissioner Burrow.
Thank
for
you, sir.
leadership, please.
Well, I can understand one mistake and giving a second chance, but this is much more complicated than that. And the disregard with working for several months without a permit and never having a permit in Cobb and working, there's really no excuse for that. And as been said many times before, having a server's permit is a privilege, not a luxury or a given. So I would make a motion to uphold the denial from the License Review Board in this case.
You have a motion. Is there a second? Second. A second by Commissioner Ott. Any comments?
Just a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, if this is denied, when can the applicant file for a permit again?
Mr. Hensley, can you address that?
1 year from today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Call the question. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. Tab 7, public comment, which we moved to the front of the meeting earlier, so we go to tab 8, our commissioners' remarks. Commissioner Cupid, I'll ask you to go first. I want to remind all the commissioners that we're limited to 5 minutes in time.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. I would like to share with the commissioners and also publicly that I too have expressed my concern with respect to the transition of residents from Magnolia Crossing. And from the leak of that transition occurring at the beginning of this year, I provided my concern and regard for making sure that process is supportive. And the reality of the matter is that my concerns have been taken on an advisory basis, and sometimes, or too many times, I feel not as persuasive as they should have been with the Redevelopment Authority in understanding the real impact that that move will have on residents who are there. I would ask the board to, I know that we don't have direct authority over the authority beyond appointment of persons on that board, and I believe that 2 of the positions will be expiring very soon if they have not expired already. So one of the suggestions I would have in light of what's occurring is for us to look at the composition of the board. Part of the challenge with the board, they were appointed to term limits. And when they were originally appointed, none of the board members live in the Six Flags area, even though the board members reflect both Mableton and Austell as far as their reach. None of them live there. And I think that it has resulted in perhaps them not really understanding the impact of some of their decisions on that community, which I've tried to apprise them of. So from an influential perspective, not necessarily from a direct authority perspective, from our board, I would ask that we reach out to the authority if any of our hearts are pricked that Christmas, the winter time during the school year is not appropriate time for people to transition. I would ask for the board to help in reiterating that sentiment to the members of the authority. But I would also ask for the board support that when new members of that board are proffered, to get your support in appointing persons who live in the Six Flags area to that board. Because I just think that would lend to some sensitivity to the unique issues of that area, which aren't reflected by the persons there. There is some flexibility, and these remarks go directly to the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority, which owns Magnolia Crossing. I believe that there are a couple of things that could be considered. One, which I thought before this process is that we do have a $10 million bond, which is slated to go towards other projects in the area, and we can look at some additional funding beyond the acquisition of Magnolia Crossing to see what we can do to provide additional support for residents. I've heard the suggestion shared today is also looking at potential rent abatement for those who currently live there, that they can have the ability to save their rent dollars that will apply towards November and December and keep that to help them with their transition. And I think that's a possible solution that the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority should also consider. Those are my comments with respect to Magnolia Crossing. To the public, or at least to the South Cobb Redevelopment Authority and the board, to the residents who are here, I do feel moved and disturbed by the very short timeline that was provided. And I know, yes, even those of greater economic means, that moving within such a short duration with a limited amount of funds would be very difficult over the Christmas holiday. And I'm praying that your activity at today's Board of Commissioners meeting did make a difference. The South Cobb Redevelopment Authority is not present today, but I'm pretty sure that they will hear of today's hearing, and I hope that they will have the opportunity to view the video of today's hearing and to take your remarks into account. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First thing I want to do is thank a bunch of folks. East Cobb had a long day yesterday. How many hours was it, Mr. Hankerson? 15? 12, all right. I want to publicly thank DOT, Public Safety, Georgia Power, Cobb EMC, and Communications and the IS folks. Lower Roswell Road was closed from 3 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock last night because of a large tree taking down 3 power poles. And I will tell all of you that your inputs in the afternoon were a huge help. When I drove out that way around 7 o'clock last night when the road was still closed, Lower Roswell Road was pretty much empty because I think folks had heard the message. But long day, a lot of work for the Georgia Power folks. There were 21 vehicles out there at one time trying to get the power poles back up. The second thing I have, Commissioner Weatherford and I have talked a lot about this growth on our face. And I know Randy Crowder left. His wife's not talking to him yet, I don't think. I don't know about Sam, but there's a lot of firefighters that shaved off their mustache, and if you saw them now, you probably wouldn't recognize them. But what I brought, we've talked about the shirt that they are selling to raise money for prostate cancer awareness and also for the Firefighters Fund. This is the front, and the back, which is a lot more artistic. These are for sale through the fire department, and also I think on Commissioner Weatherford's and my website. The money goes towards prostate cancer awareness and also the firefighters. And finally, just remind everyone that tomorrow is Veterans Day. So when you see a veteran, thank them for their service and the protection that they provide us. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Weatherford.
Thank you. I'd like to start echoing Commissioner Ott's about Movember, and do have a website, mobro.com/Bob Weatherford. And I'd just like to read my motivation statement for the month. It's to grow a cancer-fighting Tom Selleck mustache. I'm not sure how successful I will be with that, but I want to have some laughs and raise awareness for men's health and hopefully fundraise a couple of dollars along the way. So if you feel so inclined, and I'd like to thank the other 3 commissioners that can't grow mustaches for their assistance as well.
You can't grow a mustache?
Not and stay married.
I didn't say why he couldn't grow one. I pretty much know why you can't, but I'm not real sure.
I'm trying to stay married too.
But now Craig could grow.
That's a very good point. Moving right along, if one of the things we approved on the consent agenda item is on page 103, where we are reapplying for a certified county of ethics, which I think is a very important thing for our county. It's a very worthwhile achievement, and we have had that since 2010. So another thing for us to be proud of in Cobb County. As Commissioner Ott said, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I'd like to thank him personally for his service in the Air Force. And that There are many, many activities tomorrow, so look for those. There's a parade in Marietta from 11 o'clock through downtown in the square. Kennesaw City has lunch for veterans at their community center. North Cobb High School has a breakfast. These are all in my district. And tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock at Patriots Point in Ackworth is a veteran ceremony. So look forward to that, and as he said, thank a veteran. The last thing, of course, is today is the United States Marine Corps' 240th birthday, and I want to do a shout out to my brothers and sisters in the Marine Corps. So, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Burrow.
I'd first like to say that, Commissioner Weatherford, you have some high aspirations there, wanting to be like Tom Selleck.
One can dream, yes.
Yeah, just don't take his spot on Blue Bloods, my favorite show. I'd like to first thank all of those that attended our Fur Fest last Saturday at the animal shelter. Despite the rain, the vendors were moved inside, but we still had 39 adoptions. So I think that is to be commended. And the staff there, the dedicated volunteers that show up every day almost out there, we really appreciate everything they do. Yes, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and there are many events going on. One event tomorrow night at the Lasseter Concert Hall, I've had the opportunity to co-chair the U.S. Army Field Band and Soldiers Chorus coming to Cobb. And we're all excited. They're here, and it's going to be a wonderful event. But we also ask you to thank a veteran tomorrow, all those that have served and sacrificed for our freedoms, and the ones up here with us too. We thank you. So remember our veterans tomorrow and every day. Next Monday, the 16th, at the Mountain View Community Center, from 6 to 8 p.m., we will have our Cobb Future, the 2040 Comprehensive Plan, interactive meeting to discuss this long-range community design growth strategy that will continue to make Cobb an attractive place to invest, conduct business, and raise a family. So we ask the community to come out and give us your input for the 2040 plan and come see what it's all about. And that's all I have, with the exception of Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you very much. I echo the Commissioner's remarks regarding Veterans Day and concur that although tomorrow's set aside to recognize them, it's something we need to be mindful of every single day and thank our veterans and those that are clearly here and alive, but we should also remember those that passed, even though it's Veterans Day, and be mindful of their families as well. I want to get congratulations to the City of Kennesaw and Marietta, who took home 2 of 4 ARC Development of Excellence Awards last week. Kennesaw was recognized for its revival on Main Street development, and Marietta was recognized for the square as a 2015 great place to be. And so I extend a congratulations to them. To have 2 cities in Cobb, 2 of our 5, 2 of the 4 awards in the entire region recognized for their excellence is something every Cobb County can be very, very proud of. Yesterday, last night, I had the opportunity to attend the annual YMCA Volunteer Appreciation event, recognition dinner, and they recognized one of Cobb County's own, Bill Pinto, for the Bransby's Christian Leadership Award, which is their highest award that could be given out. We have several Ys here in Cobb County that do an excellent job holding up our youth and giving opportunity for folks to succeed. And I believe that Mr. Pinto just is such a wonderful gentleman and such a great contributor to this community. And although he's retired, will always be remembered for his leadership role and what he's accomplished in Cobb, and especially for the Y in this regard. So we send our congratulations to him. I would like to give, on behalf of the Cobb County Board of Commissioners in the county manager. Another world of thanks to those service anniversary luncheon folks that we recognized earlier this week. Human Resources, again, did a great job getting us in and getting us out and celebrating the years of service that are just extraordinary for folks that have served Cobb County residents and our visitors. We appreciate that very much. And one small reminder, tomorrow is the 2-year anniversary of the date John Sherholt stood up and made his now famous remarks that the Atlanta Braves would move into Cobb County. A lot has happened in 2 years. My thanks goes out to all of Cobb County staff for helping move that forward. Their impact already has been significant, not only on their development, but moving further on that, the halo effect has just been extraordinary as well, as they focus on helping Cobb grow and helping Cobb businesses grow and bringing a significant project to Cobb County. Now, we all have, for you folks that have children that have grown and gone to college and left your nest, there's always a hope that they won't come back. Some do, regretfully, but for the most part, your hope is that once they leave your nest, that you're home, they're gone. However, today we want to recognize the return of one of our better folks. We have hired, well, actually, we haven't hired. Dana Johnson, and his vision has hired Jason Gaines as his new planning division manager, who comes back to us after being wayward and lost and searching for the peace that he found in Cobb County at one time, and he felt the grass looked greener elsewhere, and he pursued those at Henry County and city of Clarkston, but he came to his senses and came back to Cobb County to work with Dana. And we're very, very proud to have you back, sir. We know you do just an extraordinary job for us. Could you stand and be recognized, please? Thank you and welcome back. Welcome home. Mr. County Manager, anything further? Just a minute, Commissioner Ott.
We would be remiss without recognizing Commissioner Weatherford and the county manager's service as veterans also.
Absolutely.
Two things, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
Mr. Gaines never moved away from Cobb, so I think in his own heart, in South Cobb, he had planned to return. Now, that's just my comment. But number two, there are a lot of veteran programs this week, but also our employees are having veteran program on Thursday, so it's not the conflict with the other programs, so they can participate.
Great.
It's to say thank you to our veterans and the ones that serve, and also our retirees. That's Thursday, Jenna T. Anderson at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. We are adjourned.